And today's video is onto the teachers. I'll be talking about the lasting consequences that kids get from the classroom from their teachers. Now, as a teacher, you have to understand you are a primary role model for the child in your classroom. You're a primary caregiver for them and the classroom at a particular time. That teachers must understand. Therefore, whatever you say, do, or act around them has a very huge impact on the kids. I'll give you a very glaring example. If most parents were to be very honest, they will tell you that usually when they want to tell their kids something at home, which may not sound as exact as their teacher had told them in school, they'll be like, that's not what my teacher said. That should say a whole lot of things to people's minds and in their heads, that kids believe their teachers to a certain extent more than their parents. Now, teachers, when you use phrases like, oh, you're too lazy, you'll never get there. Just because they have been trying an activity that you gave them in class, a task that you gave them in class to complete, and they can't really figure out how to do it right. And then you start being, you will really never get there. I don't think you're good enough. This has a lasting consequence on that child's self-esteem. It is some of these kids will internalize this, and it will follow them up to the next stage of their growth. It may follow them all the way to their grave even. So teachers, you have to be very careful on the things you say to people's children and how you comment on their, that will be how you comment on their report card. That will be a whole topic for a different time. But for today, I want to talk to you these lasting negative consequences that may travel or get along with the kids as they traverse the different stages of their development. It may even affect your cognitive growth. You are not good enough. You'll never get there. Kids may internalize this again. Teachers, watch it. That's you damaging somebody's child's, self-confidence. This whole thing, teachers again, when you talk like that to the kids, let me tell you another consequence that may result as a function thereof. Kids or people do learn, especially kids when they're in this exploration stage. They learn a lot through, they're curious. They want to know. When you start telling them things like this, you're killing their curiosity. You're killing how much they want to engage in that lesson. Because they already know that they are not good enough. Their primary role model in class told them they were not good enough. And so they would believe that growing up. Some kids believe that, they see that it's true. And clearly, it's not. So I'm talking to my friends, teachers out there. Be watchful on what you say or do around people's children. You would kill their motivation and engagement spirit in the classroom because you've told them that they are not good enough. Their self-esteem, of course, is done. It's a done deal. You don't want that. And this may even go as far as affecting their emotional or behavioral attitude in class. Kids will get all these negative comments all the time from their teacher. I'm not saying that their parents don't contribute. I'll talk about that another time. But today I'm looking at the teacher and the classroom. Kids will get negative comments all the time, may, in most cases, react out of defense. They're always a boom. Because now some of them, they might fall into anxiety and depression. And now they feel like at some point, I just have to defend myself. They develop a mechanism to defend themselves and they become wild when they ask them questions. Or, worst case scenario, some of them may just withdraw altogether. Now, I'll give you a good scenario. This one happened with me. I think I was in grade, we call that Form 2 in my days, which maybe, I don't know, that's grade 8, grade 9. So I made my English teacher, I don't want to mention her name. Then I was 12, I guess. She asked a question in class, and then I raised my hand and I answered. In my head, I'm killing it because I'm a child being raised by her grandmother who never even went to school. So English was not really a thing it was not my thing like that, So I was like, I summoned the courage because I knew that I had something going up upstairs. And then in my head, I know the answer. So I raised my hand and I answered. I guess my grammar was horrible, I would say, from her response. I remember vividly and clearly and loud till this day what my teacher said. Remember, people keep negative things a whole lot. Victims never forget. And my teacher said, oh, some of you, and I quote, some of you, your English really begins to pinch my ears. This phrase went directly into my heart and I kept it there. I withdrew from my classes. In terms of participation, I was demotivated. That's me. It happened to me. I was in Form 2 at the time, and I was no dull person. But then, because of my grammar mistake, I answered the question. And maybe my grammar was here and there. Like I said, that English whole thing, talking at home was not something that we did. I was with my grandmother. So I am not blaming her anyway, so don't feel pity for me. What I'm saying is the damage that my teacher caused on me. She never even paid attention anymore. I never answered questions anymore in her classes. I never participated, and that affected me in other lessons as well. I just stopped participating in other teachers' classes, and then it took me some time to re-summon the courage to start engaging in other teachers' classes. So, teachers, be very mindful of this thing to say to people's children. You might damage somebody's child entirely because they're looking up to you as a primary role model. Parents will tell you sometimes they try to teach or correct their child, but that's a little bit different from what my teacher said. You are saying this, my teacher said this, and they want to follow what their teacher said. So you have to know you're not only there to widen their scope on the new ideas or content that you're teaching them in school in terms of school subjects, you're also there to guide them grow morally as well. So try to help protect your mental health. You put people's kids into depression, you have no idea whatsoever. So please, teachers, you're doing a great job out there. Also, do mind how you can manage your emotions sometimes. You have to learn how kids behave. You have to learn a whole lot of things about kids' cognitive growth. You have to know why they ask certain questions and give them reasons if they ask you why. Don't just tell them because I said so. Because I said so is the worst phrase. I'm going to talk to parents about that. So teachers, I'm done with you for today. I hope you do understand your role in a child's life. You have to understand that as teachers. Thank you. Charlotte Nanga here.